I'm in always sunny Puerto Escondido, and as a prepper, as a traveler, you kind of look at things with travel tactical eyes. If you watched the last video, we talked about how to survive Oaxaca City in a zombie apocalypse. We escaped that theoretical zombie apocalypse via a small plane, landed here in Puerto Escondido, and we're going to do the same thing. What would it take to survive a zombie apocalypse in Puerto Escondido, Mexico?
So if you're not familiar with this part of Mexico, Puerto Escondido is a very small town in southern Mexico along the Pacific coast. It's frequented by some expats, digital nomads, and a whole lot of young adults who lay on the beach, do yoga, and surf. In fact, Puerto Escondido is consistently ranked in the top 10 best destinations for surfing in the world. But compared to Oaxaca City, Puerto Escondido is definitely a better place to sit out the rise of the undead. Puerto Escondido is difficult to get to, with the main routes being a tortuous, windy mountain road from Oaxaca City, or single routes from the north and south. All of that being said, if zombies do reach Puerto Escondido, there are a couple things that you're going to need to keep in mind.
Priority number one in a zombie apocalypse is shelter. You need to remove yourself from the threat, and the threat is everywhere and spreading. So where are you going to hole up in that initial collapse to make it through the first round?
The first thing is knowing places to avoid, and that starts with El Centro. Hiding under a cardboard box here isn't going to cut it, and it's unfortunate that you have to avoid downtown because it's also the place with the most supplies. Look at all the people shuffling through here. All of these people. That person becomes a zombie. 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 Not a zombie. Zombie. You could take on one of these zombies, maybe a few, but all of them at once? No way. Now, if the market is closed up when the zombie apocalypse hits, it could be a good place to raid. Get some bolt cutters and find your way inside. You'll find meat, vegetables, fruit, but try this too long after the apocalypse and all the food's going to be rotten. If you happen to be shopping here when the infection takes hold and people are running and screaming for their lives, grab a motorcycle or moped and flee the scene as fast as you can. The other critical area to avoid is Lapunta, which is Spanish for the point. It's the tip at the southern end of Zicatela Beach. It's a very nice spot for swimming, surfing, and watching the sunset. People gather here every evening to watch the sunset. The shops are fun, the restaurants are decent, there's an energetic vibe. People are just generally looking to have a good time here. Unfortunately, a lot of people go here, so in a zombie apocalypse, it's almost as bad as El Centro. The area is crawling with backpackers, hipsters, vagabonds, groovy Volkswagen van owners, jewelry makers, and a wide assortment of beach bums. Much like in El Centro, the zombie infection will spread quickly here. Zombie, 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 zombie. All's not hopeless, however. The buildings in Puerto Escondido are much like the rest of Mexico. They are designed to quickly close up and be secured. There are gates and bars over windows. You can keep zombies out or lock them in. This advantage cannot be understated. And the same is in El Centro. If you need to evacuate Lapunta, grab one of the motorcycles or mopeds along the street. They're everywhere. So where should you go if zombies invade Puerto Escondido? The south or the north? There are fewer people in either direction, and you can find lagoons. Now, the advantages to lagoons are that they offer a plentiful source of water, you can evade zombies by boat, and there are plenty of food sources here. There are a lot of birds you can kill and eat, find some cattle, even strange little marshmallow type fruits that are entirely edible.
Your stomach is going to grumble before you know it, and you're going to be hungry, and there'll be a little bit of food around you, packaged food most likely, but raiding stores is going to be really dangerous.
See the Puerto Escondido grocery store, for example. There's plenty of food here, but it'll be dangerous as hell. You'd need an entire tactical team to move through these aisles to take groceries out. And if you watch my Oaxaca City video, you know that the gun laws in Mexico are strict. So rolling through here with Kevlar vests and submachine guns isn't going to happen.
And it won't be long before you look into the landscape, and fortunately Puerto Escondido has a lot to offer there. So you can find food before you become food.
The Pacific Ocean can provide here. The beaches to the south are largely empty and you can safely fish here because you can see zombies coming literally a mile away. There are also plenty of birds and other wildlife. All food. Dogs? Yep, food. These little hanging fruit things, I don't know what they are, but I bet they're food.
This agave growing right here in this random patch of woods, that can be used for tequila or mezcal, make it flammable, medicinal purposes, barter, or just tie one on. This cacti growing in this little opening, that's food too.
Now look at all these little geckos.
You could walk around and collect all of these at night and make yourself a little salamander sandwich or soup or some gecko gumbo. What is this little baby gecko? That's like 5 calories.
What about these vultures? Food? No, dude, no. These birds eat the dead. They'll eat the undead. They'll do the cleaning up. They're your allies. Same with these Mexican ants. They're cleaners.
Water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Puerto Escondido has some advantages for it. Water is not one of them.
You can find water in the rainy season without problem. Drinking water is trucked in like most everywhere else in Mexico. You can find fresh water, you just need a way to purify it. Boiling it requires fuel. Propane is relied on heavily in Puerto Escondido. Tanks like this will go quickly. Coco frio can be harvested from coconuts as well. Coconut shells are rich in carbon, making them a great fuel source. Fire is also a great weapon. Make friends with this guy. He'll get you through a horde of zombies. But rebar is going to be your primary weapon against the undead. It's everywhere and it's the ideal tool to puncture zombie faces. And mezcal to torch them. Here a bartender is making my wife a drink. Did he think she was a zombie? If you've made it this long, you'll eventually need to go raiding for supplies. You can use souped up buggies or motorcycles until the gas runs out, but then you either gotta grab a kayak and paddle by water or use horses. Horses would be a great transportation for the long term if you don't need to eat them in the short term. In summary, lock the buildings, grab mezcal, grab propane, go to a lagoon, find a tribe. Signs of the old world will begin to fade, but you survived. You can help start a new world.
And really, if things don't work out as you'd hoped, and you gotta face the end of days here, there are worse places in the world.